Hello, today we will be going over database, my database presentation, Julian Reyes. So the agenda today, we're going over databases, we're going over database technical analysis, um, continued database technical analysis, a little bit more in depth about databases, their capabilities, securities, functions, etc. Then we'll be going over PostgreSQL with databases, all those capabilities and functions that are to be used by that, and then hardening recommendations of databases, some with PostgreSQL, most of them, and some without. Uh, yeah. So first slide, database technical analysis. So the databases are very convenient. They help you a lot with large groups of data, company sized data, anything like that. So we have databases allow many individuals to access data at the same time. One of the things I found in my research was that a lot of the comparison was databases to spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are only accessible via one person at a time. Meanwhile, databases allow multiple individuals to access the data, the giant pieces of data all at once. Next, we have collection of organized structured information or data. So a database is a collection of organized structured information or data. So it's this huge organized structure of data. Helps organize and structure data. Next we have a database is controlled by a DBMS or a database management system. This is used to manage all the data within the database. So here we are, it says the DBMS is used to, well, a database is used to sort data, and a DBMS helps sift through all the sorted data or manage all that sorted data. Next, we have a database allows for easy accessibility of data or information. So this goes with that a database is used to sort data and is very convenient. It allows many users to access easily tons of information very quickly. Databases allow for easy management of modification of data. This goes with DBMS, which helps accommodate the easy management or modification of data within a database. The majority of databases use SQL, structured query language, for querying data. This can also be used for writing data in a database. So in order to sift through data within a database, most individuals or users would use, or most databases would use SQL to query the data or sift through the data to try to find what the individual wants. SQL, it's a programming language and is used to query data, or rather sift through the data. It is also used to modify data or manipulate it, and it can also provide things like access controls. This is a continued database technical analysis. So there are a bunch of different types of databases that can be used for different things, different companies, different reasons. So a big company like Amazon might use it differently than a different company, or they may use different types of databases within one company for different types of data. So some of these are the relational database, object-oriented database, distributed database, data warehouse database, graphs database, and an open source database. So a relational database is data. The data is organized into tables with rows and columns. In a object-oriented database, data is stored as objects. A good example of relational databases, I believe, are ER diagrams. Next, we have distributed database, and data is stored scattered across different networks and computers in one location. So this can probably be used within one building with the data scattered across a bunch of computers and the different networks. Next we have data warehouse. A data warehouse is a central place for data, and it is used for large blocks of data for fast querying and analysis, fast analysis. Next we have graph databases, and this stores data as entities. We also have open source databases, SQL or NoSQL. There's a ton more types of databases, but yeah, these are some examples of them. Next we have more in depth about DBMS, database management system. Databases use this to interface from database and its programs or end users. It also allows individuals to get their data or manage it or organize it. Some examples of this database management systems are MySQL, Microsoft Access, or Oracle database. Next we have PostgreSQL with databases. So this is open source, very customizable. It is a object relational database, and it is very reliable. This database or PostgreSQL can use multiple types of data, multiple data types. Some examples of this are JSON, integers, text, and tons more. It includes primary and foreign keys. PostgreSQL has asynchronous, synchronous, and logical replication. It can use write-ahead logging, and it can also use procedural languages like Perl, Python, etc. Some of the security capabilities are different types of authentication and certificates, the use of access control, and multi-factor authentication. Lastly, we have hardening of databases with PostgreSQL, or just hardening databases within Linux. And so the first one is to use PostgreSQL for access control. This would be role-based access control, and to utilize this, you would set privileges or revoke permissions to users. Next, we have secure configuration of database server. So you would want to securely configure your database server. Doing this can help minimize the attack surface an attacker can utilize. I spelled it wrong. And also, configuring it securely can mean removing unnecessary things like features or settings, or even default user accounts or privileges. Lastly, the last hardening recommendation would be to encrypt, to use encryption for the databases like SSL or TLS for data transfer encryption. TDE is transparent data encryption, and this is used through PostgreSQL for encrypting the entire database on all of the data within it. Very useful. And then lastly, you would want to use the key management system for managing the security keys and certificates. Um, yeah. And lastly, we have the references.